This is Dan Max, the trading agent. This is a stock trading and recap channel that I wanted to share to the masses. In a probability game, there's no certainty. Here are my insights and predictions.
What is up, fam? It is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the trading agent. We are doing the weekend recap for November 5th. I wanted to start off today just kind of playing around on my Discord board. Post a lot of intraday trades, a lot of trades. People are interacting. You know, these are friends of mine, people I've known for a long time, other decent traders as well. Yeah, if you ever have any questions and you want to get me directly, this is a good place to come to. So let's get into the charts. What I'd like to do today is do a little drawing live so you guys can kind of see what I am up to and how I draw these charts. I know this looks a little bit messy, but I tried to clean up some of it. But let's talk about Penn Gaming. I put out a tweet earlier about, whatever you think about Portnoy, it doesn't really matter. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Sell the rumor, buy the news. The news is out there. How bad is it? I really don't know. I don't have a personal opinion on Dave or what his allegations are. I really don't care at this point because there's no lawsuit. They're just allegations. It's just in writing. So we'll see what ultimately happens. But knowing what we know now, let's try to trade it, right? So here we go. We're going to draw the Fibonacci's on this. You see from the bottom to the highs, literally. Boom, 618. Wow, does that line up? Let's draw some other stuff. I like to do boxes. You guys know that. I like to kind of think in and outside the box. So let's say this low here and connect it to these highs or these lows right here. So let's say that is your point of reference. This is what I would call the buy zone. Support equals resistance. Resistance equals support. So at this point, we are coming into these areas where it looks like things are going to hold. So if you start to buy here in this buy zone, then you need to know where your stop is. So if you bought it, say, let's zoom in now so you can get a better close-up on this. Somewhere near 56, 57, 58, 60, you need to know that 53 is always in play. So if you bought in pieces, you sold puts initially, you're looking good. If it's the bottom, it probably retests or makes a higher low or could make a slightly lower low to be a trap. And we're going to get into traps here in a little bit. But here's an example. Huge volume. The price action was pretty shitty yesterday, but then look what happened today. If you would have been buying in this box, not all at once, again, not all or nothing, probability trading, you start layering in, you're feeling pretty good about today's action because you had every possibility to go lower, and we didn't. So there's something stopping the volume or stopping the action. The volume is showing that. Anyway, but if you've been waiting to buy it, here you go. Maybe this ultimately be some big bear trap. You have this tight range, you break below it, and then you can turn into a rocket ship higher. That is potentially possible here. I'm trying to draw the arrow. We'll do that later. Anyway, but that's something that I would keep in mind right now because that could be very clear what's going on here. You could have some sort of arrow coming out here, and this is the chop zone. This is the bear trap to get everyone to sell and give up their shares. The market makers loving it. Unlimited volume to take it higher. Who knows? Usually, and this is another thing about bad news of companies. If a news-related item is bad, a company is going to want to follow it up by good news. Always keep that in mind. Always. Bad news followed by good news because they're going to try to do something shortly, whether buyback, some sort of announcement of some good news. It is always coming. That's how the board thinks. Think if this was your company, your response would be what? Oh shit, bad news? We need to do something good. We need to make people think we're not bad. Now, speaking of drawing again, let's get into Moderna. This is one I've told folks about. I wouldn't be owning this thing. It didn't look right. And people were saying, well, that's just you talking to talk. And it's like, okay, whatever you say there. No, look at the chart. Let's build it together. You had a wedge here. Maybe you can see it once I draw, but it was just staring at me in the face. You gap below this bottom of that wedge, and here's the other half of the wedge. Remember I talked about go with the direction of the wedges. Wedge broke. All right, now we're bouncing back up. Boom, big gap. You took out the lows there. Red flag. Red flag to close below it. Not good. Okay, now you're thinking in your head, well, if you're still holding this, what are you doing? What is your plan? Pray? Hope? I just don't get it. You know, I try to tell people sometimes, like, just what are you thinking here? So if you bought it and this was nicely, say you did get somewhere in the 100 day and it's just holding here, yesterday's action was a huge red flag to get the fuck out. Until it got back over it, it was bearish. Well, now look what happens. Another day of just massive destruction. How do you not lose? That's why I keep telling people, like, how do you prevent the big loss? The big loss would have been prevented if you just stuck to this wedge. If you would have bought in the hundreds, whatever, and you waited and you started selling, remember the straight line move to end it, and the chop preceded the drop. Remember I keep talking about this with Tesla. If you're watching the previous videos, you can see, like, this is the formula for Tesla if it is going to break. If it doesn't break, you're not going to see this. Let's just get that straight. Like, I'm not saying this is going to happen to Tesla, but if this is what is in play at some point, this would be a formation. And again, how far things go down, whatever. We'll get into that later when I show Tesla. But this wedge was telling you, all right, we're in congestion. Chop before the drop or chop before the pop. Something was going on here. That gap down, you're done. Stock is dead to you. Until it got back over this, it was dead to you. And you would have saved yourself, you know, that's basically 400. Now you're at 210 to 250, 230. You're up shit's creek and you're still holding. What are you doing? You didn't sell any on the upside. Now you're on the backside going, well, you know, I'll just wait. Hope is not a strategy, and I'm going to beat people over the head with that until they get it. Let's talk about some trades that worked pretty well this week. We talked about gold. Said this was a bear trap into the free money retest. Said anywhere in this blue little red zone was a absolute buy. The volume, I said down here, was better. This volume didn't really say anything. This gap down could have knocked stops, but here again, if you knock something out stop wise and the volume isn't high, there's not a lot of sellers, because guess what? People have been selling this shit for months. They've been stuck. They're literally stuck. If you've been owning gold, this isn't some like coming out of nowhere. This is going sideways for a long time. And what do I say about sideways? Chop shakes the weak hands. Well, there's not a lot of sellers now. So that's a sign. Keep that in mind. Maybe gold is about to honestly explode. This is a big chop pattern. We broke the downtrend. We broke below it, broke over it. Now we're closing above it. Bear fucking trap. Shorts are stuck here. Keep that in mind. Let's go back to GDX. What did I say to this week? 31 area. If it gets down there, this old trend line, you have a shoulder, head, shoulder, 31 area, boom. You bought it there. We talked about this volume on this downside was basically shit. The volume's not great on the upside, but again, this is how many months? This is since June. Down, 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 down. Broke downtrend. Head and shoulders bottom potentially. Keep it on your watch list. Let's go to our favorite little miners, KL. I guess they're not a junior mine anymore. Said 100 day would be a smoking steal. Notice how we got below it 2 days in a row, but we not closed below it. That's a good sign for KL. Because if you're closing below the 100 day, now you've got problems. But if not, then it might be a continuation. Now this is like some big W with a freaking handle. The Wu-Tang handle, sword handle, I don't know. AG. We said it, broke this down channel, hit the 100 day, backed off it. I wish I would have remembered to circle it on this chart, but I was identifying 50 day, 20 day cross, channel, all three contiguous things as important. And now today, breaking over the 100 day. Look at that volume yesterday. That was a trap. If you sold that, you're not happy. You are not happy at all. You're, especially if you've been waiting patiently, because now you're making, this is considered a higher low. Let's see if we make a higher high, 200 day. 0.618. Well, just saying, that could be what we're looking at. Dollar. Talked about the dollar all week. Said it's not really sure what's going on with it. It's not really bullish or bearish. It's sitting mid. These candles said to me bearish, but you gapped up yesterday. Now we opened up big on the dollar. People probably didn't see that, and then we closed down near the low. Apologize, phone call. Sorry about that. Getting a seasonal change. The tires are ready. The car is ready to be picked up. Anyway, yeah, the volume was to me looked bearish, but here is this a bull trap popping outside of this top 2530? I don't know, but I'm not really trading dollar at this point until it gets out of this channel, because at this point it's just choppy and there's not a lot of room in it. There's not a lot of juice in it. 25 to 25.50, you can make 50 cents doing something else. But the dollar is important. It's interesting to keep an eye on. The TLT, what did I say? I hate to say what did I say, and I told you I'm right. But if you know me, you know that a lot of the stuff I predict does happen because I'm playing probabilities, and I'm only showing you things that I think are high probability. I don't need to show you 1,000 charts and try to predict all of them. I just need to find a few that work well. We say the TLT was going to test this trend line. Well, chop, 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 gap today. We're there. Jobs number came out. I don't really know what jobs numbers mean anymore, because if you dig deeper, you see that there are a lot of these part-time jobs that they've been counting forever, but now they're the most jobs added. Waiters, servers, all these people in the specialty services, I don't really think those are great wage jobs. They're good starter jobs. They're good in-between jobs. People working in those industries are amazing. They're not easy, but they don't pay enough for it to really have a life-sustaining, the job. They're just not that, unfortunately. That's just the realization. So there we are. Could we go back up here, the 150s? I'm in real estate. Every real estate agent and every mortgage loan officer I know is anticipating higher rates next year. It sounds like everybody's going to be wrong, but that's kind of what happens. The market's really good at trapping everybody. The SPY. I tweeted this out earlier today. I said a picture with the ocean looking choppy. Well, what is today? It's a doji. Okay, write in your notes. Get it out. Every jobs day, there is a high probability that the jobs release number day is going to be a doji. It's going to have wicks on both sides, and it's going to be choppy. Ingrain that into your brain, and I'm going to say it again. Days that the jobs numbers are on once a month are typically dojis. Just keep that ingrained in your brain. Depends on when the chart, but if you're at a high, probably a doji. At a low, probably a doji. Even if not, it's probably a doji. It's going to go choppy, choppy, choppy. Let's see if I can just pull one out real quick. Actually, I don't know what day the jobs day. It could have been that day. That's a doji. You never know what day the jobs numbers are, in the sense that they're not on the first day of the month. They're always the first Friday of that month. So it could be the first, or it could be the 6th or 7th, whatever. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, sorry, no, it's not finished, actually. So this has made a nice run. And I said choppy, and also if I had big profits, I might take a little bit of gains here. This is a nice move. It's a nice move. It's due for some violent pullbacks, quick, hard, fast. I don't know. That's always possible at this point. Let's pull up the VIX. Talked about every time you get down below the 15 range. Well, now the VIX is popping today. 20 days is the key. We get over the 20 day, the 100 days coming, which will be just a retest of 18, but it could be forming the what pattern? W. Be aware. W patterns are strong. If it is, that means volatility is going to go higher. Certain stocks could be down. The market's going to be choppy. The things that you were so used to seeing every day go straight up might not. Just keep that in mind. Let's pull on the QQQ. We hit some upside targets today. Remember my drawings? I said the 400 level. What was the high today? 499. That's like some Price is Right shit right there. That's close enough. That's we're in this little fun, wedge tip. Volume today a little bit above average. We're going into the close, so the volume should be accelerating here in the last 3 minutes. But that's indecision. It's been a nice uptrend. If it starts getting choppy, don't be surprised, and don't act like I didn't say it's potentially possible. You keep running higher. Again, the bigger the move, the bigger the digestion. So just keep that in mind. If we keep running higher, it's probably going to need more break time. Letter X. We've talked about this is a W pattern, slow and steady. If you bought down in the 20s on the retest or at the 200 day, you're loving life. Man, gold is closing at the high. Just going through that. I'm going back. Sorry. We're right near the close. I like to see pumpage into the close. Let's look at silver. It's at the high of the day. Yeah, back at the 100-day. Whatever. Let's not get distracted by watching all the flashing lights. Roblox. So COVID's over, I guess, since that wonder pill from Pfizer. I I think people are anticipating that they're going to have more people are going to be out and about, which to me, kids are kids. They're going to be inside during the winter, and who knows what they're ultimately going to be doing. But I know Google Trends and Analytics says they're playing Roblox. Are we forming Mr. Shampoo Head and Shoulders? Get rid of the dandruff? I don't know. It could be forming something like gold was. You know, you can press against that upper trend line high and tight, and then you go. Possibly. It's worth keeping an eye on. There's nothing really dangerous about it. But if you want to if you had to stop at the 20-day and you're out, great. Guess what? You can always rebuy back. You can always rebuy back. It's not that big a deal. Stops are meant to keep from mega losses like you see in Moderna or Penn if you had bad luck. Anyway, let's go on to Apple. It's just compressing under this trend line. I've been saying it since it hit it, and we backed off of it on earnings. That was earnings day, big volume. Till it breaks over it, get out. But if it's a head and shoulders top and it is invalidated, shoot to the moon. Let's just put that in there. Break this. This is what it looks like. Pew, pew. I know you gotta like the sound effects. They're pretty high tech. I know. Let's draw it green because that's what it'll be. It'll be a big green shoot off. That's kind of ugly, but I apologize. Let's go on to again. At this point, there's nothing to really say. It's if you're holding it, great. If you are waiting to buy, even better. You're probably going to get instantaneous gratification when you do buy it on that breakout. Mr. and Mrs. Tesla, Elon. We're getting a little tired up here. I still think 2 times range. It's like a tractor beam. We're holding up. These last 2 days don't really tell me anything. This is a lot of volume after a big move, so it is exhaustive. There is exhaustive tendencies here. So be wary that if everybody's buying all at once, who's left to buy? Think about it. There's like a teeter-totter where naturally stocks, ride back and forth, but all of a sudden everyone jumps on one end. It's like whoosh, the other side shoots up, and so there's no one left to buy. What happens? There's a vacuum that has to be filled by the stock actually going lower. I'm not bearish. I'm more of a be smart, take profits, have a plan on this. I'm not calling for a dump. I was wrong here. It went higher. But again, I'm not an all or nothing trader. I'm not telling you to unload all of it. But if in your mind you think the probability is rising that it could pull back, so if rising probability potential of a pullback, the less you should own. It's really that simple. How you want to do that percentage-wise, how you want to sell options, that's on you. That's what I would do. That's how I put money in my pocket. So if it does dip and say Elon just gets high this weekend and eats shrooms and does some stupid shit and the stock drops 300 points, you can buy it and not worry because you're not fully invested. You have bullets to fire. Let's pull up Airbnb. This is one that was on my radar. Justin Pulitzer was talking about it today. If you want to give him a good follow on Twitter, he's good. This downtrend, we broke over it. We literally closed at it, but with earnings. Here's the earnings response. Boner. Swing. Going higher. It looks like it'll probably go back at least to the 220 range. If you want to look at the fib extensions, they're up here. As you can see, there's plenty of room to run if you do clear this. The real starting line for unlimited potential. Let's just do a box in case if you take this home and you're like, oh, I'd like to trade this. Where do I need to really think about like free and clear skies? Enjoy the vacation that it's about to go sailing away on, up and away. Just get over that 220 box. You get over it, you're good. If it gets to it in a straight line, be aware of this. If we get there in a straight line, there's going to be sellers. The reaction is key. High and tight is okay. Pulling back gently, okay. Hitting it and violently pulling back, be wary. Worst case, chop. Best case, it just shoots through it like there's nothing there and it's just off to the races. Let's end it on MicroStrategy because that's just another one where people have a lot of questions like, why is it not still going? Well, here's an example. Pretend this line, pretend that we're looking at the previous chart and that this is the zone you need to get over and you've gone on a nice pop and now you're backing off. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Like that's what you want to see. Ultimately everyone wants to see instant gratification. You trade long enough, you realize the best gratification is from doing nothing and sitting on your hands. Jesse Livermore, he's the man. Read that book, Reminiscent of Stock Operator. Thank me later. Yeah, high and tight. It's fine. We broke the wedge. We broke the wedge, the down wedge. Or not the down wedge, just the wedge in general. That's good. Set your stops at your entry and just let it run. And if you ever really feel like you have to, take some off. If it's profit pressure, take a little off. Buy the dip, trade it. Learn to trade it with a small percentage. My trading sizes vary based on swing trading days versus intraday. My intraday trade is 10% of my swing trade. 10%, not the same size. Don't be an idiot and gamble on lower probability stuff with bigger money. You're gonna get screwed. That's gonna be another thing to talk about, position sizing in the next basics. But anyway, that's gonna be it. If you got questions, come to Discord room. I'm usually lurking around there. Someone is there to lurk and help out. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you got comments, get them in, because I'm telling you, once this blows up, there's going to be tons of comments, and I can only do so many things. I am a real estate agent. I also do this mostly full time, but still, I'm building businesses in different angles, different areas. My time can only be limited to so many things, so I want to help as many people as possible, but once things get bigger and people see the potential here, it'll just have to be what it's going to be. So if you have comments now, it's the easiest way to learn. I've been teaching people for 20 years, so Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the trading agent, signing out. Hope you have a great weekend. Study the past. That's how you predict the future. There's nothing new in trading. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Also smash the like button, share with your friends, and add a comment. If there's a topic or stock you'd like me to give you insight about, let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer your question. Thanks.